Excellent. Let's delve into some best practices for API integration, including rate limiting, caching, and versioning. These practices can greatly enhance the performance, scalability, and maintainability of your API integrations. Here's an overview. 1. Rate limiting. Implementing rate limiting helps protect both the API provider and the API consumer from abuse or excessive usage. Here are some best practices for rate limiting. Define and enforce rate limits based on the needs of your API and its users. Communicate rate limits to API consumers through headers or response payloads. Consider using tokens or tokens bucket algorithms to manage rate limits effectively. Provide clear and informative error responses when rate limits are exceeded. 2. Caching. Caching can significantly improve API performance and reduce the load on your server. Consider the following caching best practices. Leverage HTTP caching mechanisms like cache control and eTag headers to control caching behavior. Use appropriate cache expiration times based on the volatility of the data. Implement cache invalidation strategies to ensure cache data stays up to date. Consider employing content delivery networks, CDNs, for caching static or frequently accessed content. 3. Versioning. Versioning helps maintain backward compatibility and allows for incremental updates to your API without breaking existing integrations. Consider the following versioning best practices. Include a version number in the API endpoint or request header to indicate the desired API version. Design your API with a mindset of backward compatibility to avoid breaking changes. Clearly document any deprecations or breaking changes when introducing a new API version. Consider using semantic versioning to convey the impact of API changes accurately. Remember, these best practices are not exhaustive, and their implementation may vary depending on your specific API and requirements. Additionally, it's vital to consult the documentation provided by the API provider for any specific guidelines or recommendations they offer. By incorporating rate limiting, caching, and versioning practices, you can enhance the performance, efficiency, and maintainability of your API integrations. If you have any further questions or need additional guidance, feel free to ask.